And hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Kaz Has. My name is Kazvon, and today we're going to be looking at a game called Muffin Knight. It is currently available on Steam for $4.98? This game's kind of weird. There's a weird history with this game. Okay, so let's start out. First, it was an iOS Android game that was available for 99 cents. I believe that price point was designed to undercut a game it has been accused of cloning. Super Crate Box by Vlambeer came out on those platforms for $1.99, and this game offered it for $1 cheaper, and some would say a better art style, but art style is kind of subjective, I would say. But anyway, now it's on PC, so let's judge it by the merits it has on PC as a platform, shall we? Okay, so what I should mention is I already recorded this video. And I mentioned that binding the controls to a gamepad was really awful. Thankfully, right after I recorded my video and was about to edit it, they updated the game. Literally like 5 minutes ago. So now, not only do you have a graphics option, which is, you know, just low, medium, high, but, you know, it's something. Not only did they add that, but they added control schemes, so presets, Xbox, Logitech generic. I think this is this whole menu system that they added is a little buggy because it's acting kind of, see how it's overlaying itself right now? I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, weird. Anyway, so yeah, they just added it. It's a little bit buggy for some reason, but hey, at least they're trying, right? It's good to see companies supporting a game post-release. Also, what they added was multiplayer system that is actually tied into Steam now. Like when I made my first video, literally 10 minutes ago, the only way to get on multiplayer was to host your own server and have people join that server. Now, it's all through Steam, and there's actually, like, you can choose friends only or public match. I'm gonna click it to friends only so I don't get interrupted because I know none of my friends have this game. It's not a slight on the game, it's just the truth. And we can go back, and now if we go to multiplayer, we can do versus or co-op. So there are two modes here. If we hit co-op, it'll actually give us a list of servers that are available from different players and tell their max level unlocked, and we can even create our own game and have people join it, which is pretty cool. I'm glad they added that because the way it was working before was kind of silly. I don't know if it was just not working for me before and this is how it was always meant to work, but I do know that option in the options menu was not there before for public and friends only. So that's cool. I'm glad they did that. Anywho, let's get into the single player game. Oh, I should also point out, when you go to single player, you can choose to open yourself to multiplayer matches, which will allow you to join other people and other people to join your game, but it's not drop in, drop out. It'll actually interrupt your game and bring you into multiplayer, which is kind of bad, but at least it's there for people who want it, you know? At least it's an option. I wouldn't recommend it. So anyway, all that aside, the UI is still clearly iOS, you know, tablet centric, but it's easily navigable with the mouse. I can't get the control. Oh, yeah, the controller does work now. Before the controller wouldn't work at all, so that's, once again, that patch improved things. That's good. All right, so let's get into the game. You can pinch to zoom to get a closer look on the action. Okay, well, we can't actually do that because I'm on PC. Thanks, game. Okay, so the point of this game is that you need to collect muffins, and as you're collecting muffins, these enemies will drop down from the top. If you fail to kill the enemy before he reaches the bottom into that pit, it'll respawn at the top and it'll turn red. And when it's red, it moves faster, and it's generally harder to avoid. They're far more aggressive. It's really hard to tell if they take more hits or not to kill because I do have a lot of upgrades right now, so I might just not be able to tell. But essentially, whenever you grab a muffin, which is your goal, is to grab enough muffins to unlock the next level, is you switch characters, and each character has a different kind of attack. And you have to collect the muffins to progress, so you don't really have a choice in the matter. If you get really good with a particular character and you get that character, let's see if I can actually start. Okay. you have to switch characters, and you have to kind of get used to everybody. And as you gain more and more XP, you unlock more and more characters, and then it just kind of gets tougher because you have to really be able to adapt on the fly. It's kind of a continuous survival platformer in a way. This is the first level, so it's really simplistic, just to kind of show off what it's all about. But it's a really cool idea and a really cool design. Unfortunately, that's what Super Great Box was. That is the game that was. So that whole part of it is, you can't really accredit it to these guys. These guys just kind of borrowed the idea, which some people just say, well, you know, I'm not going to be interested in this game because it's a derivative work of another game that I like. And that's a perfectly logical reason to not actually get into this, because you may already have the game it was derived from. However, Super Great Box did not have multiplayer, so if you really want to play this multiplayer, I can see that being a reason. Personally, it's not a good enough reason for me. I enjoy these kind of games by myself, because I'm kind of a loner when I'm a gamer. So, but it's there. It's an option. Oh, and I just unlocked a new character. Sorry I clicked through that so fast. Oh, this must be it. I shoot freaking rainbows. So, that's the thing. The market improvement on Super Great Box, and the thing this game has going for it, as opposed to that game, is its art style. It's very, very colorful. It's this cool, like, all the models are 3D, but they're cel-shaded and look kind of 2D. So that's kind of cool. Another thing it adds is level up characters. So every character is basically a different kind of attack. And as you go along, you unlock all the other characters. There's 15 in total, but they're really weak when they start. So what you need to do is collect more and more XP to get level up points so you can level up your characters. So this guy requires 1 point. It'll increase his attack range and attack rate. So we'll upgrade him. So now he's a little bit better. So when we get that character, he's not so bad, because I actually kind of don't like that character. So that's a cool feature. Although I question whether or not it's necessary and whether or not it's just a way to kind of pad out the game. Because the reason I like Super Great Box is that it didn't have like a progression system in making the weapons you got better. It was on you as the player to get better with those characters. So this is kind of a, I don't want to say making Super Great Box's design more casual, but that's essentially what it is, really. It's making it a little bit more casual for a wider audience, which, to me, that's not really an improvement on the derivative work. I am all for taking someone else's work. Okay, that sounded bad. I'm all for taking someone else's design of a game, taking some of the aspects of it and improving on it. That's pretty much what all modern video games are. Every game kind of borrows ideas from one another. But when a game is taken so whole cloth like this, it rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and I can totally understand why. And personally, I also am not really very much a fan, just based on that, because there's already a game out there, and it's already available on PC, and honestly, it's free to play, and it's on Steam, the same service that this game is currently available on. So, I guess in summation, I would not really suggest this to people unless they already have played a lot of Super Great Box and they want to play it multiplayer, like they really, really want to play it with friends. That's maybe one case where I could see this being recommended to somebody. But beyond that, the level up system and like the upgrades and all the other stuff, it really doesn't do it for me in terms of as a market improvement. And I'm gonna get out of this level. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna try and show off one more level before we get out of here. I got as far as the graveyard. There we go. So this level's a little bit bigger. It's got 2 spawners, and it's got this portal system so you can zip from one side of the map to the other. And yeah, so the basic design, in case you haven't played Super Great Box, is pretty darn good. You have to basically master all these different weapons and get good with them to improve. The learning curve is stilted a little bit more easily in this game. I don't even know if that makes sense, but the game's a lot easier to get used to because you can just level up the characters you're bad with, and then they're automatically easier to use. Their range gets bigger, their damage gets bigger, so it's less impetus on the player, at least on the early stages, to learn all the characters. But as you progress, I'm sure you're going to have to actually master them, And that's a good design. That's solid, and that's what made Super Crate Box great, except they didn't allow you to kind of skip some of the learning process there. More and more characters unlock as you go, so you have to keep on adapting, and you have to be able to recognize on sight when you pick up a new point, like a new muffin, how to use these. I'm still not entirely sure. I think this guy just nukes everybody on screen. That's pretty intense. But as for being a mobile port for PC, it's port-wise, it's alright. It works good. Like before the update, it was actually pretty bad because you couldn't use a controller. And when you can't use a controller for a platformer, I question why you even put it on the platform to begin with. But thankfully, they fixed that very, very recently. So that'll make a lot of people happy, especially if they already bought the game and they wanted to be able to use a controller with it without having to pull their hair out making it work. So that's good. But I don't know, guys. It's a good looking game. It's based on a solid foundation. I just question... I question why you would spend so much time just remaking someone else's game when you could make your own game, or, you know... I mean, I'm not the type of person who's gonna say, like, well, your graphics are so much better, why don't you take all that time in the graphics and spend it on better game design, huh? Like improving the game design. That doesn't make sense because artists don't design games. But I will say that you could have added something more than just multiplayer. I mean, oftentimes multiplayer doesn't work very well in these kind of games anyway. It's kind of laggy. I haven't tried the multiplayer in this, and I'm not really interested in it. If you are, I'll probably bop into it a little bit to see if it actually works. Oh man. Sometimes the controls, I don't know if it's this controller, but I haven't had this happen with other games where when I travel left with certain characters, they just kind of want to keep going after I stop. So I don't know if the dead zones are messed up in my controller or if it's in the game itself. I really couldn't tell you. Let's get into multiplayer and I'll show you that off, okay? So let's go level select. Back. This will be a first time experience for both of us because I have not done this yet. And let's just go to versus. That sounds more interesting. Let's see if anybody's playing this. Alright, well, I waited a bit trying to get into versus. No one else is playing versus, so I'm trying to get into co-op. There's some people in co-op. See if this works. This is a live demo. I have no clue if this will actually work. Yep. Still waiting. Once again, this patch just went live. There's probably not a whole lot of people who owned this game previously who would even know that you can do this now. So, and it's also, as I should mention, it's 11 a.m. on a Friday. So people are either at work or trying to sneak out of work early to go home. And I don't even know what other people do. I just play video games. I'm kind of weird like that. All right. Still waiting. So how you doing? I know you can't actually answer me back, but I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired. I stayed up all night playing Dark Souls 2. It's kind of my jam right now. I have not beaten it. I'm still going through my first playthrough. It's a hell of a lot of fun. It's the first Souls game I've played where I have not been spoiled on anything. That's shocking. I waited all the way till the PC version was released. Alright guys, well, I don't know. If the multiplayer works and it's fun, it's a big checkbox in the for column for me, because you're actually adding value to your product that differentiates yourself from the person you're pretty much taking from whole cloth. And that's good. That's a good thing. I wish it was more deep than that. I wish there was more things you were changing. I wish there was more stuff to look forward to besides kind of rehashing something else and then just calling it something new. But yeah. And I can't back out of this. Yep. I'm stuck here. Well, I guess it's gonna wrap it up. Overall, if you want this game, if it's up your alley, and you've never played Super Crate Box, but you really love this art style, I would still probably try Super Crate Box because it's absolutely free on Steam. But if then you just hate that art style because it's kind of an old school arcadey art style and you want the more painted, cel-shaded 3D models thing, yeah, pick this up, I guess. It's $4.98 if you're into that. I mean, I'd still wait for it to go on sale personally because it's on iOS it's only 99 cents. So if you can bring yourself to play a platformer on iOS, you might save some money there, but I wouldn't. Straight up, I would not do that. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm sorry I couldn't get multiplayer working, but I can't sit here all day trying to get this to work. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. It helps me so very, very much. And if you have seen a couple of my videos, consider subscribing and you won't miss any. You don't have to. No big deal. But anyway, guys, that's Muffin Knight. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.